on the
page.
channel. Is it on the content page?
What could have been, should have been, might have been the face mask.
All right, y'all. What is going on?
Are we up?
We are up.
John, congratulations on putting that all together. I know it's a pain, but anyway, happy football Sunday. Happy week 1.
Yes, sir.
Let me take a look at this list. So, if anybody's got any injury issues or injury concerns, in case you missed the updates, players expected to play Sunday. Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson, so the Colts offense gets a boost.
Hold on. We're having some technical difficulties here.
Uh-oh.
Give us a sec. We're figuring this
What's
one
happening?
out on the fly. Keep talking. They just can't hear you.
You can't hear you?
They can't hear you. So
If I'm talking, then they can't hear me.
No,
That's
they
good.
can't see you. Sorry.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep talking until they can see me. But
Yep. I'm working on
players.
it. Keep talking.
Okay. Players expected to play Sunday. Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson. That gives the Colts a boost. You can have some confidence with Jonathan Taylor there, especially with Nelson back. Joe Burrow is going to play. Very interested to see how he does coming off of, obviously, the major knee injury. Austin Eckler is going to play. He's been in and out of practice this week, but he got a limited session in on Friday, so you're firing up Austin Eckler. Trey Lance is expected to play. He had a finger issue coming into this week. He'll probably have some type of sub package available for him, right? Jimmy Garoppolo is going to start this week, but expect Trey Lance to factor in for the 49ers in some capacity. And they're playing the Detroit Lions. If they're up in this game big, if it's out of reach for them, Trey Lance might get some garbage time looks. Desean Jackson's going to play. Hasn't played more than 1 or 2 games for the past couple of seasons, but for what it's worth, Desean is available and healthy for week 1. Noah Fant is playing, and then the big news, the big injury name to monitor all season long, Saquon Barkley is playing week 1. John, I had him I know you're working on your technical difficulties. I had Saquon as one of my targets in the late round, or the late half of the first round in the draft plan. So if you listened, congratulations, he's playing week 1. It might not be a full workload. Week 1. That's okay. It's just week 1. You're still in all likelihood firing up Saquon Barkley. Lower expectations. It's not a great matchup.
Nick, I'm going to interrupt you. We have our first question here, and I am still trying to figure out these technical difficulties. So our screen looks real funky right now.
Are we janky as hell?
First question here from Ricky Blaze. Who should I start? Juju Smith-Schuster, or Jerry Jeudy, or Corey Davis? Who would you choose, Nick?
Juju, Jeudy, and Corey Davis. I'm inclined to go probably with it's tight between Jeudy and Corey Davis. Davis probably has the better matchup, and I guess the slightly better quarterback play. Jeudy, I just think, is so incredibly talented. And I think he's going to operate. There were a lot of fantasy industry beat reporters that for the duration of the offseason said that Drew Lock would be better for Cortland Sutton. But Teddy Bridgewater, if he won the job, would be better for Jeudy. Just based on camp reports, based on which quarterback was targeting who more frequently. So the situation is Bridgewater's starting. And Jeudy looked phenomenal this offseason. He looked phenomenal last year. It was just harder to tell because of the terrible quarterback play for the Broncos. So it's not a great matchup for the Broncos, but I would probably lean Jeudy here. I think he's the most talented of the 3 mentioned. Corey Davis is very interesting, and it's a good matchup, and he should be a target hog.
And Jamison Crowder is out. So I will mention
Crowder's out.
In Corey Davis's favor, working in his favor, is the fact that he was hyper-targeted during the preseason. He was Zach Wilson, if not, he was Zach Wilson's number 1 target.
Not even close, yeah.
Right, wasn't even close. He was putting up basically wide receiver 1 numbers, high-end wide receiver 2 numbers if the preseason were to have counted for anything. Nice mug. I like that.
Hell yeah. Got to bust out the Vader mug.
Hell yeah. So I don't know. This is tough. What I will say is Juju is not the guy.
No, Juju is third on the pecking order here. I would personally give a slight lean to Judy. But Corey Davis probably has the slightly better matchup. So if you want to play them,
man, Corey Davis, the Jamison Crowder,
the Panthers,
he's out. They got a rookie starting week 1 in Elijah Moore, and Denzel Mims has been criticized all offseason and wasn't lighting the world on fire week 1 or last year. So I could see a world in which Corey Davis was the guy to start over Jerry Jeudy.
Oh shit, we're at odds on this and not agreeing. That's okay. It's really tight. Like, it's really close. I see the argument for both players.
I think Jerry Jeudy is the safe option.
Judy is the safe option.
For upside, I think you got to go Corey Davis.
Davis is a little bit more of the upside play in the better matchup and is, like you said, the unquestioned wide receiver 1, whereas Cortland Sutton could be the wide receiver 1 on any given week for Denver.
All right, we have another question here from Big BS. Jerry Jeudy, full PPR. Jerry Jeudy or Damien Harris?
Full PPR, I'm going to give the edge to Jeudy there. Damien Harris is not going to catch passes. It's a tougher matchup. Miami, John, you've talked about this at length multiple times about how good Miami was on defense last year. Mm-hmm. Now Damien Harris has
scoring defense in the league.
And now Harris has to open against Miami. I know a lot of people are excited about Harris this year. I am as well. But it's a tough matchup to open the season. I know they're at home. The Patriots are. So obviously that always, it's like, that negates negative concerns about a player a little bit when they're playing at home. But full PPR, I got to give the edge to the wide receiver. Jeudy doesn't have as difficult a matchup as Harris does. I would a little bit more confidently lean Jeudy in this question.
All right, we have another one here from Delusional Tanner. Yo, Bobby Woods or Julio at my flex, half PPR. He has Keenan and Diggs starting. And he started Zeke, and he started Lamb. So he needs to make up a little bit of ground. Who are you going with here? Robert Woods or Julio Jones?
Oh, man. I gotta think Julio has the slightly better matchup than Woods going up against the Bears. I like the Rams a lot this year. I love Robert Woods. In fact, I would have suggested drafting Robert Woods over Julio in pretty much every scenario, but they were still pretty close in ADP for the offseason. Julio's matchup is just a little bit more favorable. And he's healthy week 1, right? Like,
yep.
Julio had some injury issues last year. He's healthy week 1. I would give the slight edge to Julio. I know Julio could be the Titans wide receiver 2, whereas Robert Woods is often considered, I mean, at least I would think, by most to be the Rams wide receiver 1, even though it's tight. I would go Julio slightly. Also, the Titans defense gave up a ton of fantasy production last year to opposing wide receivers. That favors the Cardinals. Therefore, I think points are going to be scored in this game. It's going to be more of a back and forth. I think points might be at a little bit more of a premium between the Rams and the Bears. I think more points are scored in Cardinals-Titans. Edge to Julio.
Yeah, and I will say about Robert Woods is there are a weirdly large amount of pass catchers in this offense for the Rams who should be catching passes. Now, Robert Woods is the unquestioned number 1 to me in that offense, but you got Tyler Higbee, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Desean Jackson. I don't know how he's going to factor in because this is week 1. This is Desean Jackson's week to shine.
This is Desean Jackson's week.
Right? They got Tutu Atwell. They got Jacob Harris. They got a ton of pass catchers here, right?
Jefferson.
And we've yet to really see how the backfield breaks down. We don't know how the workload share between Sony Michel, Darrell Henderson, we're just really not sure. So to me, the Titans' offense is a little bit more solidified.
Yes. Yeah. More efficient of an offense, more effective of an offense. Remember, Ryan Tannehill, since he took over that job, has been awesome. He has been awesome. Not just
QB7,
yeah,
QB8.
Incredible as a fantasy quarterback, incredibly efficient as an NFL quarterback. Tannehill has been one of the, by every metric, by every statistic, has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since he took over that job. When you're between a couple of guys, and no disrespect to Matthew Stafford, but Tannehill has been more definitively the better option for fantasy. So give me the guy who's tied to that quarterback. That's
I don't want to spend too much more on this one because we do have some questions piling up here. But really, if you look at Julio Jones, his competition for targets is A.J. Brown.
It's A.J. Brown, and that's it.
It's not Anthony Ferkser. You're not looking at Josh Reynolds or anybody else. It's A.J. Brown.
True. Jeff Swaim.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff Swaim.
Thanks for that.
Anyway.
But yes, just to me, to wrap up, I would go Julio in that situation. But I do
Julio.
like Robert Woods long-term this entire
Long-term for the season, I like Robert Woods more than I like Julio. But for today, if I have to pick between the two of them, I go Julio.
So we got a defense question here. They're piling up, so we want to run through this one quick. Jags defense or Carolina?
I would say I would lean the Jags. I don't love either option, but by all metrics, by every indication, by every prediction, Houston's going to be a worse offense than the Jets. The Jets have some hope. They have some promise with a young rookie quarterback who has been slinging it this preseason. I do expect a sneaky amount of points to be scored in that Carolina Jets game. Jacksonville, Houston, I'm just not sure how many points Houston's going to be able to put up. I did list Brandon Cooks as a solid start for this week, but that doesn't mean I don't dislike the defense if I have to pick between two, middling options. I would go Jacksonville. I would target Houston until they prove that they shouldn't be targeted. The Houston offense, I would target going against them. That's what I mean.
Agreed. Next question. Derek Just, full PPR, in the flex, DJ Chark or Russell Gage. I would go DJ Chark. I would. Until we figure out what the Atlanta pass catching game looks like behind Calvin Ridley with Kyle Pitts in the situation. I know Russell Gage got to 700 yards last year, 700 plus. Chark just has to me, I'd go Chark. I don't know about you. Tell me how you're feeling.
Chark probably has the better matchup. Houston was in the bottom third in the NFL in passing yards allowed last year. I would probably go Chark based on the matchup. Not that Philly is phenomenal on defense. They did give up a lot of production last year. But, I mean, Philly's defense versus Houston's defense. Philly's defense is better. There's not really much of an argument there. So I guess I would give a slight edge to Chark, but it's pretty close. But Chark has a little less obvious competition in front of him, whereas Gage is going to be dealing with Calvin Ridley, who's a stud, and Kyle Pitts, who I fully expect to eat the Eagles linebackers alive today. So I would go Chark.
All right, another full PPR question, and this is our first Tyson Williams question.
Here we go.
Chase Edmonds, Deebo Samuel, or Tyson Williams at flex in full PPR?
Oh, shit. I would definitely it's full PPR. Who's the wide receiver? Oh, Deebo. I got to give the edge to Chase Edmonds. Again, I just talked about how the Titans defense gave up a lot of production last year just across the board. I know they made some I know they made some defensive additions in free agency. I think that's where Bud Dupree ended up in Tennessee from Pittsburgh. So big signing. But Chase Edmonds is a pass-catching back. You're not slamming him up the middle. I think points are scored in that game. Damn, I would give a slight edge to Edmonds between the three of them. I would give the slight edge to Chase Edmonds. I think points are scored in that game. Edmonds should catch passes. I'm just not a believer in James Conner at this point. You know, he could factor in, especially week 1, but...
Oh, I know how you feel about James Conner.
I'm not in on James Conner. I'm sorry. I would go Edmonds. I think he catches more than a few passes today.
So we got a gross question here from Rico Ontiveros. Half PPR.
Gross question. Okay.
Do you start Baker Mayfield on the road in KC or Sam Darnold revenge game at home?
Ooh, you know how I feel about revenge games. I always advocate for better or worse targeting a guy playing in a revenge game. And if you pay attention to the NFL, Sam Darnold was dragged in New York. So I really love him in this game, but I'm going to go Mayfield. I'm going to lean Mayfield just because of his opponent. The Browns have to throw.
I'm going to say the exact opposite.
Damn it.
Because Sam Darnold revenge game, he's got the best weapons of his career. DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall, Robbie Anderson, CMC. He's got the best weapons of his career. Revenge game. And it looks like Baker might not have Odell Beckham. Or at least Odell Beckham is going to be on a pitch count. So.
Yeah.
This is the Cleveland Browns are a run-first team and a run-second team and a maybe pass-third team. Honestly, they might run all 3 downs.
I don't know how much you can do that though against Kansas City.
It's the way that they play. Kevin Stefanski,
sure, it's their bread and butter.
Isn't Kevin Stefanski still there, or is he in?
He's still there.
He's still there.
No.
All right.
But if they go down 14-0, there's only so many runs that they can mix in before it's like, okay, it's time to drop back to pass. All right, you know what?
I'm sorry, we got a gross answer for your gross question.
We have a gross answer for the gross question.
We're split here.
So here's my final, analysis on this, and then go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Mayfield is going to be, I would say, he's going to be throwing more than usual. Yes, Odell's going to be on a pitch count. Yes, Odell has not taken any contact this offseason, so we have no idea what we're working with here as far as what we're going to get from Odell week 1. So, yes, Baker might be a little limited in the weapons department, but his matchup plays well too. He's just going to have to throw more than average. Darnold, I do love revenge games. I like, good point. He's got great weapons, not to mention all he's got to do is dump it off to Christian McCaffrey.
He is playing with the worst O-line of his career, though, I will say. Sam Darnold is probably playing with the worst O-line of his career. So that is working that is a disservice to him. So, gross answer for gross question. We are going to move on here because we got some questions piling up. I'm going to take the next one from N Savvy, David Montgomery, Chase Edmonds, or Mike Davis, PPR. I'd go David Montgomery.
It's a tough matchup, but you drafted David Montgomery as high as the 4th round, maybe the 3rd, week 1. Just start your guy.
The best running back in the league.
Start your guy.
Out the season, David Montgomery.
It might be a bust, but you got to go Montgomery. Lower expectations.
And we skipped one. I'm gonna jump back here. That full PPR Chase Edmonds, Deebo Samuel, Tyson Williams at flex can start 2 out of 3, 2 flex league.
Well then
that Chase
I would
Edmonds,
also
Deebo, Tyson. Who's the second guy that you're gonna choose here for Zoltan?
in full PPR?
Mm-hmm.
Deebo. I love to. We've been profiling the hell out of Tyson this week. Very excited to see what he's going to be able to do Monday night against the Raiders. But I got to go with the proven pieces. Give me the proven pieces week 1. Over an unknown.
There we go. We got a double question here. Austin Eckler or James Robinson. Then the second question is Austin Eckler or James Robinson.
Damn, you got to choose between one of those guys? That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Expand your line. People, talk to your commissioners at the end of the year and get that extra spot in your starting lineup. It's more fun to play with more spots in the lineup.
Absolutely.
You got to go Eckler. I know it's tough. I know the hamstring is a concern. I know Robinson is healthy. Houston sucks, but you drafted Eckler in the first round.
My question for Drew Kemp, and if you could throw that in there, you did later on. You said full PPR. I think if it's full PPR, you're going Austin Eckler. He's going to catch a ton of passes.
You have to. You have no choice.
James Robinson is not a catch passing back. He can do it. He showed that.
Robinson might pop. Robinson might pop today. It's a great matchup. He's going to get the volume. He's going to get the work, but it's Austin Eckler.
Right. It's
Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Got to play Eckler.
Marquez Callaway or Laviska Shenault, two of your favorite guys.
Ooh. So again, Laviska's got a phenomenal matchup. Callaway does not. I'm gonna say Viska. Like, I know Callaway has flashed and popped, but is he gonna have to see Jair Alexander today? Probably gonna have to see Jair Alexander today. Jair Alexander is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. New Orleans doesn't have anybody else. Traquan Smith is out for this game. I think Adam Troutman's gonna play, but he suffered that injury in the preseason, so we'll see how effective he is. It's bare bones for New Orleans. Green Bay can just put Alexander on Callaway. I would not feel good about that matchup. Give me Laviska in the clearly better matchup. Lawrence seemed to favor him in the preseason. Give me Laviska Shenault.
And you are a big fan of Laviska Shenault.
I am a big fan. Yeah. I am a big fan of Laviska Shenault. I think he's going to be a huge player for the Jaguars offense. I think he's going to have a major role this year.
Do you think he can score over 20 points? Yeah. Do you think he can score over 20 points in full PPR? Fumbled on that one, but that is a question from Gianni Medaglia.
I mean, in full PPR, 6 catches for 90 yards is 15 right there. He catches, if one of those is a score, then yeah, he hits it. I think the Jags are gonna, I think they're gonna score points today. They're on the road.
Apologies
right?
for the helicopter, y'all. I can't do anything about that.
Oh, I hear it.
Yep.
It's okay. You're outside. You're enjoying the nice weather.
Yeah.
I would lean Viska. I think the Jaguars, they score points today. They're on the road, so I always look at road teams and think to myself, they have to keep the pressure on. I don't care how inferior their opponent is, and it's still a division opponent. It's Houston is still an NFL team. As much shit as they've been getting this offseason, they're still an NFL team. Jacksonville keeps the pressure on, scores points on the road. Laviska heavily involved. Yeah, he can break 20 in full PPR. He only needs a few catches and then yards after the catch, and boom, he's right there.
All right, we got a question from John Pagurayan. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but should I start Herbert and Damien Harris this week? Both players are going against good defenses, full PPR.
Damien Harris and Herbert?
And Herbert. I think you start Herbert. He's a
what's the alternative?
Unless you have Lamar Jackson or something.
Right. Unless you've got Lamar or Mahomes, you don't have Dak or Brady, obviously, if you're asking this question. But Mahomes, Allen, Kyler, Lamar, if you Russ, Rodgers, if you don't have any of those guys, you're just rolling with Herbert.
Yep.
And again, Damien Harris, unless there's a clear slam dunk option, Harris over any other middling guys. There's tiebreakers in there.
The one thing that keeps me away from Harris is that it is going to be full PPR, and he's just not going to catch any passes in that offense.
No, he's not.
So if you have a pass-catching back that profiles to get is a fair share amount of work on the ground, but also profiles to get that pass-catching work, in that situation in full PPR, I'd put him ahead of Damien Harris just because James White is the number one pass-catching back there. I don't have the figures in front of me because I'm running Streamlabs right now. But can you look up to see how many passes Damien Harris caught last season?
Oh, I don't even have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it was 5.
There we go. Thank you. See,
Sure.
This guy knows his stuff. That's why you're listening. And just for everybody that's tuning in, This is our first live stream that we've done in like 6 months since the draft. And thank you guys for all being here. Thank you guys for subscribing if you're subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps us out greatly. If you could hit
we
like
appreciate
on
you guys
video,
for hopping on.
Again, would help us out greatly. But yeah, thank you guys for being in here. It's been fun building a community with you guys. So hopefully we can do this with you guys more often throughout the whole season. But moving on from John's question. Where are we? I lost my place. Here we go. Elijah Moore or Russell Gage? Super Knuckles, VG.
Ooh. Is it do we know if it's PPR or not?
He did not put that in there, no.
Okay. Man, I really like Moore. I feel like Elijah Moore became, because he didn't play a ton in the preseason. I feel like he went back to being a best kept secret. This dude was balling early in the offseason programs. By every account, by every beat report, Elijah Moore looks phenomenal. Another spectacular catch from Elijah Moore today. Ho hum, this is just what he does. Again, to your point about Crowder being out, I would fire up Moore. I would fire up Elijah Moore with a little bit of confidence.
And this is a rookie quarterback who should be looking for a safety valve in his offense. And if you remember, this is a team that does not have too many tight ends out there.
Crofty?
Right. He's it.
We got Crofty.
Ryan Griffin is still there. But as far as security blankets for a rookie quarterback in his first start. I think
give me more.
I think Elijah Moore has a good shot. Start one from Zachary Sharinkin. I'm gonna try to be good on these names.
You're doing a hell of a job trying to pronounce some of these names.
Raheem Mostert, Devonta Smith.
We don't know scoring.
Full? Yep.
I gotta say no to Beckham until further notice. Like you said, John might be on a pitch count today. Has taken no contact this. Now, did Odell Beckham forget how to play football? No. But live action is a big deal for these guys.
Yep.
Any edge you can get, any advantage you can get. And so I would be very cautious with Odell to open the season. So it would come down for me between Mostert who was the first option?
The first option was OBJ Mostert or Smith. Those are the three options.
Devontae Smith, right?
Yep.
Sorry. Oh man, Devontae Smith is going to see 12 targets today, and nobody's going to even bat an eye.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I would go.
Don't listen to the guy talking about the Eagles wearing the Eagles jersey.
Yeah, don't listen to me. So here's the thing. Mostert has a phenomenal matchup. The 49ers are going to beat the Lions. Sorry, Detroit. The 49ers are going to win that game. They're going to be running the ball. They're going to be running the ball a lot. Mostert should be involved. And he doesn't need much. All he has to do is bust one for an 80-yard score because Mostert is fast as hell.
He might be the fastest player in the NFL.
He might
be. From the running back position. He really might be.
Man, but full PPR. Devontae Smith is going to get funnel targets. And I did a short about this yesterday about Jalen Rigger about a deep stream for today in deeper leagues. The Atlanta Falcons gave up the most passing yards per game in the NFL last year. They were abysmal against the pass.
They also passed more than any team in the NFL last season.
Yes,
Matt
they
Ryan
do.
Did. So this should be it's an ugly-ish matchup, but it should have some fireworks in there for sure.
Oh, there's some maybe not so sneaky offense that should happen in this Falcons-Eagles game. Whereas I think Lions-Niners is a little bit more low scoring. Yes, the Niners are going to run the ball. Yes, they're going to have success running the ball, but they could mix in Trey Sermon. Wayne. I almost said Wayne Gallman. Jesus, he's not on the 49ers anymore. It's going to be a two-man show between Mostert and Sermon. But Devontae Smith is the clear number one for the Eagles offense. 9 times out of 10, I give the edge to the wide receiver in full PPR. Smith is going to see a ton of targets. The Eagles are going to be throwing the ball in this game, again, especially if they're trailing. Like the Falcons' offense is probably a little bit more efficient, maybe a little bit more sophisticated than Philly's offense at this point. If the Falcons go up early, the Eagles are going to be throwing the whole damn game. I'm going to call my shot and say Javonte Smith in full PPR. He's going to see 12 targets today, 10, 12 targets.
There you go.
Like I would go Smith.
All right, I'm going to get to some of these questions that are piling up here. Kenny Rollins, who would you pick up in the Baltimore backfield? We just did a video on this. Head over to our channel homepage, and it's literally the first video you see. Check it out. Thoughts on Juwan Johnson? We also did a Thoughts on Juwan Johnson? We also did a video on Juwan Johnson earlier this offseason. Go and check that out on our channel as well.
Like him a lot.
Ryan Lasting, PPR flex, need upside because going against Cooper Swift. That's worded very strangely. Because going up,
he went up against Cooper.
Judy. Swift or Judy.
Swift or Judy.
PPR flex. Need upside because he went against Cooper.
Well, if you need upside, then I guess I would say Judy. I mean, Swift is tough to keep out of the lineup just because it's full PPR.
Yep.
Shit. Swift is going to catch a ton of passes.
Yeah.
I expect the Lions to be trailing in this game. This one's tight. I'll say my piece on this, and then I would say go with your gut. Swift is going to catch a ton of passes, not just today, but all season long. He's going to be a huge factor in the passing game. That is a difference maker. That's an X factor at the running back position. So I expect the volume to be there. It's a brutal matchup on the ground, like running it for Detroit. Just San Francisco gets all their guys healthy. It's a matchup that you maybe want to avoid. Yes, Detroit is at home. He's going to rack up a ton of catches, threat to score at home. With Judy on the road, it's a tougher matchup. The Giants were middle of the pack against the pass in 2020. Their cornerback, I'm going to be an asshole and forget his name.
Slow past it. We got a lot of questions to answer.
The Giants' top cornerback is pretty good. Bradbury, I think it is. Bradbury. Tough matchup for Judy, but the upside is definitely there. I would probably lean Swift. The running back with pass catching volume in full PPR, I would lean Swift.
All right, start one. Altuan Simmons. His opponent has Lamar Jackson. Do we go Hollywood? Do we go Callaway? Or do we go Claypool?
Claypool.
Boom.
Claypool. That's Claypool.
Easy answer.
Claypool's awesome.
Brad Whitehead. Who should I start at both of my RBs and flex PPR? I have Gibson, Carson, Montgomery, Ayuk, and Debo.
Start
so he
three
needs,
of those guys?
He needs 2 running backs and a flex PPR.
I heard Gibson, right?
I would go Gibson, Montgomery, and then it's between Ayuk, Debo, and Carson for the flex.
Seahawks are playing the Colts. That's a tough matchup for Chris Carson, but he's the guy. I'm sorry. Did we get is there scoring? Full PPR, half PPR?
PPR.
Full PPR?
It just says PPR.
PPR. Okay. I would probably lean Carson. I like the 49ers receivers, especially Debo. Ayuk's he's coming off a hamstring injury. Presumably he's healthy coming into the game, which is great.
Yep.
But I'd be a little bit more wary. I'd say Ayuk is out. If you have to choose between those guys, I would say Ayuk is out. It would for me be between Carson and Debo. I don't think Debo is necessarily a PPR monster today. I don't know that he catches a ton of balls. Debo doesn't need to catch a ton of passes to come through in fantasy. He's proven that throughout the time where he's healthy in his career so far. He's he can take 5 targets and turn it into 15 fantasy points easily. But I would probably go Carson. You probably drafted him high, 3rd round, 4th round. I'll go draft capital gets the edge here. I'll go Carson.
There we go. I would agree.
Yeah.
So I'm in Judah. 12 team. 1 1P PPR. 1 point per reception.
It's PPR.
Who do you start at flex? Tyler Boyd, Tyson Williams, our second Tyson Williams question, or Kareem Hunt,
sir.
Your boy.
I'm gonna go Kareem Hunt in a revenge game. Again,
those, man.
I love revenge games, man. They don't always work out, but damn it, when they do, it is so sweet. Kareem Hunt's playing his old team. We kind of already touched on this when there was a question about Baker Mayfield. The Browns are going to have to throw a little bit more. That plays to Kareem Hunt's strengths. Points are going to be scored in that game. Hunt is the proven commodity. I would go Kareem Hunt
over Tyson and Boyd.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go Kareem Hunt. Because Boyd is probably Boyd has a ceiling, and Burrow is we have to see what happens with Burrow.
Yeah.
As much as I like Boyd, and then Tyson, I know we have profiled the hell out of him. Give me Kareem Hunt. For week 1 until further notice. Give me the proven commodity in a game where he should have to be involved.
There you go. All right, from Kenny Rollins, what defense should you stream in week 1? It's a broad topic, but are you looking at any defenses here as options that you can definitely plug and play week 1? And who are
yeah, I am.
2?
I got 2. Denver. The Denver Broncos, they have a very soft schedule to open the season, like for the first 3 weeks. Go look at the Denver Broncos if you need a play. They're playing the New York Giants today. They've looked like one of the worst offenses in the preseason so far. That offensive line is a mess. I will say Bradley Chubb is laboring a little bit. I think the expectation he's going to play today. Obviously, that's a big loss for the Broncos on defense if Bradley Chubb doesn't play. He's a huge part of their defensive line. But if he's in there, I love the Broncos, not just for week 1, but for the next couple of weeks as well. The other one I'll say is the Green Bay Packers. And I know this looks, this might be a little bit of a surprise, but look at their first 2 situations. They get the Saints today. It's a neutral game site, so it's not a home game for New Orleans anymore. Jameis has very little to work with in the pass catching department.
Yep.
And then next week, the Packers get the Lions at home. So I would say to open the season, if you're looking for a streamer, Denver, Green Bay.
And I will say that coming into fantasy when I first started, Nick was the person who kind of cued me in to how you can stream defenses, what to look out for, and
Salute.
There you go. So thank you, Nick. Again, I like your mug. Rick Ontiveros, thanks, fellas. You are welcome.
Yes, sir.
Glad we could help. I hope
Hopefully
you
we're
score
helping.
all the points in the world this week. And if you have any questions, come back next week. We're going to be doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jason B. Fisher.
Yeah, we got a couple more here.
We got a thank you from Jason B. Fisher. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Caesar Rangel, PPR League. Ayuk, Robbie Anderson, or Cooper Kupp?
Kupp. Yeah, you got to go Kupp.
Right.
Ayuk's coming off. It would be a little bit closer if Ayuk wasn't coming off a hamstring issue. Should be healthy week 1, but yeah, give me Cooper Kupp. You probably spent a 4th-round pick on him. Go with that guy.
Edmonds or Visca at my second flex PPR?
Edmonds.
All right.
Edmonds. Give me the pass catching back.
All right. We got another question from. Well, we have a question from Derek Just. He wants us to rank his team. Are we doing that today, or are we skipping this one?
We got a few minutes. If the questions aren't like overflowing, we can do a quick rank.
We got 50 people in here. It's more than I was expecting. Thank you everyone for tuning
thanks
in,
guys.
who is here.
We
all right,
appreciate
so this
that.
team goes Josh Allen. You're starting off great. Baker Mayfield, Kamara, Sanders, Hunt, Fournette.
Is it super flex?
It does not say. It says full PPR 10 team.
Okay. If it's not super flex, drop your QB too. But if it is, obviously keep him.
Wide receivers: Hopkins, Brown, Shark, Gage, Lazard, and Waddle. TEs: Hooper. Defense: Browns. Kicker: Young Hui Koo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Do we know
Young Hui?
Young Hui Koo.
Yep.
Do we know which Brown? Is it AJ? Is it Antonio?
It's AJ Brown. I think your team's very solid, man. I mean,
Looks
it's a 10 team, and in 10 teams, most teams look pretty solid. But Josh Allen, you can't do much better than Josh Allen at quarterback. You can't do much better than Kamara at running back 1. You can't do much better than Hopkins and Brown at wide receiver 1 and 2. So yeah,
that's an awesome start.
Your kicker was one of the best kickers last year, and your defense has one of the best full defenses in the league. So yeah, your team's pretty good, Derek. Your team's pretty good.
Team is solid. If it's only one quarterback, drop your QB2.
There you go. Caesar Wrangle, different PPR league. We just answered his other question. But DJ Moore or Kenny Galladay? I would go DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. Galladay. We got to see it from Galladay first. The hamstring, the bad offense, the offensive downgrade that he gets from the Lions to the Giants.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
All right. Melvin Gordon or Latavius Murray, who starts? I think you got to go Melvin Gordon. Just because. You got to go Melvin Gordon.
It's Gordon.
He's had time in that offense. He's had time with those players. He's not coming in fresh from another team that just let him go like a week ago.
Right.
I would go Melvin Gordon.
It's Gordon.
Even though he's not the sexiest pick in the world.
You can't expect the world, but Gordon's definitely the choice if those are the two choices.
0.5 PPR. Half PPR. Wide receiver 2. Who are you going with? Robbie Anderson or Brandon Ayuk?
I'm gonna say Anderson again. I want to make sure Ayuk is okay. Like, let me see him do well week 1. If it's on my bench, I know that's not gonna, it's not gonna a great feeling to see a guy go do well on your bench. But again, Ayuk, as recently as last week, was dealing with a hamstring injury. He has returned to practice. He's okay. I don't think there's any injury designation for him going into the game, which is a great sign.
Yep.
But give me the guy who I know is at least right now 100% healthy in a game where I think points are going to be scored. Again, Sam Darnold revenge game. Robbie Anderson revenge game as well. Robbie Anderson was also on the Jets. Give me Robbie. Give me Robbie in a revenge game.
All right, we have a continuation on this question. Adding James Robinson and Tyson Williams to the equation. Need a flex. J-Rob, Tyson, Robbie, Ayuk. In the flex, half PPR.
Robinson.
Yep. I'm going Robinson there too.
Robinson.
We need 1 at wide receiver and 1 at flex. Julio, A-Rob, and Henderson.
The wide receivers.
There you go.
The wide receivers. I'm big on Darrell Henderson this year, but it's a bad matchup.
Tance you for tuning in, Lance Hillis, but sit Darrell Henderson. KJ Frederick,
bad matchup.
Marquez. Yes. Is
What?
that in response to somebody else's question? Marquez? I don't know. I'm digging through the chat for questions here.
Okay.
Tyson or Gaskins, full PPR?
Tyson, baby. Give me Tyson. Give me the upside. I'm so if you've listened to me at all this year, or if you checked out my draft plan, or if I'm sorry. I know that there was a recent report that Gaskin just might be the guy for the Dolphins all along, as it turns out, which might not be a newsflash to some people, but I got to see it to believe it. The Patriots get a ton of help back on defense this year. Remember they had like 7 or 8.
11th ranked defense last season with
they were still
half
decent.
Of their defense gone and a bad offense. So
give me Tyson. Let me go. Let's go all upside. Let's go all get upside over some like schmeh play. Give me Tyson.
Lance Hillis, thank you for the love. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, Roman. What are you doing asking this question? Saquon Barkley or Myles Gaskin? What are you doing asking this question?
Come on.
If Barkley is playing, you start Barkley, and it's not even a question. We're moving on. You have another question down here: Stafford or Wilson? That's the one we're gonna dig into. Nick, Stafford or Wilson? Who are you going with?
If it's your standard like 4-point passing touchdowns,
and which Wilson? Is it Zach or Russell?
I got to imagine it's no disrespect to Zach, but I got to imagine it's Russ. Well, yeah, I don't know. If it's
Zach,
Russ,
you start Stafford. If
it's Russ, Zach, you start Stafford. If it's Russ, you start Russ.
There you go. All right, Jay Jimenez. Yeah. PPR at flex. Callaway, Debo, or David Montgomery? I'm going David Montgomery.
It's got to be David Montgomery. Right now, week 1, if you drafted a dude in the top 4 rounds, like by default, just put him in your lineup. I know Montgomery's got a bad matchup, but he can still come through with like a goal line score. He'll catch passes. Remember, Tariq Cohen is not going to play this game. The backup is Damien.
Mooney was banged up this whole past
Mooney's
week,
banged up.
so he's coming in with a little bit of hesitation there for him.
Montgomery's absolutely a viable pass catcher. He can do it out of the backfield. It's Montgomery. I know it's a tough matchup. I know sometimes you just got to swallow that and deal with it, but like that's the name of the game. And Montgomery can still come through. I would go Montgomery.
All right. We have KJ Frederick again. We're going with Marquez Callaway, your boy Jacoby Myers.
Hey.
Or my boy, and he's only my boy because I'm a Bills fan, Cole Beasley. And even then, I don't know if he's my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. I would say Callaway and Myers have pretty tough matchups. Callaway's going against Jair Alexander. Jacoby Myers is going to see Xavier Howard or Byron Jones on any given snap. That's a pretty brutal matchup as much as I like Jacoby Myers with a rookie quarterback going against the Dolphins defense and how good that unit is. I think by default, I would fade Callaway and Jacoby Myers. I would
Cole Beasley first, but you got to start too. So who you picking out of?
Oh, you do got to start too. Yep. So I would say Beasley. The Bills are all the Bills do is throw the ball.
And Emmanuel Sanders was a little bit banged up this past week.
Emmanuel Sanders is banged up. I think
Diggs was dealing with I think it was a groin issue, or he was dealing with
Don't tell me that.
He was dealing with, not recently. He's come back and he's been fine. But a couple of weeks ago, he was held out of practice, held out of preseason games because he was dealing with some stuff. So
I would say Beasley, and then I would give the edge if it's between Callaway and Jacoby. I'll give the slight edge to Callaway. Jameis at least is a veteran quarterback. There's nobody else for New Orleans.
Last time we saw Jameis Winston, he was the quarterback 3 in fantasy, and he made Godwin the wide receiver 2, and I believe Mike Evans was also a top 10 wide receiver. I believe he was wide receiver 8
he was high. He was up there. Yeah, I would.
Jameis can get it done for his wide receivers.
Jameis can sling it. He's a big arm, loose cannon, gunslinger, like not afraid to take shots. Right. He doesn't give a if there's anybody who doesn't give a shit about interceptions, it's Jameis Winston. I would go Callaway because it's only going to take one play potentially.
All right, we got another Tyson Williams question. Full PPR. Who should I start?
Tyson.
DeAndre Swift, Darrell Henderson, or Tyson Williams?
Swift.
Yep.
And we've been getting a lot of. There have been a lot of questions. Swift has probably been the most like Tyson or name that I've seen pop up on our channel over the past 48 hours. Go Swift. Yep. Just go Swift. Not a great matchup, but like much more established at least right now than Tyson is. Give me DeAndre Swift.
Galladay or Jacoby Myers, full PPR from Rohan Bihan.
I guess Galladay. I guess like he's the all upside play. I don't. That's like I don't feel great about it. I almost. Yep. Oh man, do I want to say? Do I want to say Jacoby Myers? I'll stay consistent here. I'll give the edge to the guy who I know is healthy. I know Galladay is the more talented player, but Galladay has been dealing with hamstring issues. He picked up another one in the offseason. Again,
he hasn't had any time to practice with the first team offense, really. He's been out all preseason, pretty much all camp. He's been dealing with that one issue that he picked up. Was it in the first preseason game?
I think I don't even.
Was
he didn't.
Before that, it was.
It might have been before.
He was in practice somewhere. Yeah.
He picked up a hamstring injury in practice. He's been in and out since. I mean, the Giants' offense is like not exciting at all right now. The Patriots have a little bit more intrigue. A rookie quarterback going up against a good defense is scary. I would go Myers because he's healthy, but I'm not. I would lower expectations for both. Galladay's, let's put it this way. Galladay's the upside play. If you need upside, if you need to swing for the fences, maybe your opponent had somebody from the Thursday night game pop, then you can take a chance on Galladay, I guess. But I would say the safe play is Myers.
Jugaraj Pada, D Swift, or Jacoby Myers PPR.
Swift.
D Swift. In a full PPR, this is Larams 23. In a full PPR, do you play a potentially limited Austin Eckler or a Chris Carson?
You got to choose between those guys?
Full PPR.
Eckler was your first round pick. Like, if he's in the lineup, if he's in, I know sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow with some of these situations where it's like, damn it, he's hurt or he's limited or he's laboring. But like, if your first round pick is active, play him.
And I know Chris Carson was getting a lot of work last season in the receiving game, but you have to remember what their depth chart looked like at running back. Last offseason, they brought in Alex Collins for what it's worth. Rashad Penny is healthy. DJ Dallas has a year under his belt, and he profiles as the number 3. I'm sorry about the bells. There's a church right over there. He is
it's a nice
the number
touch.
3, and he is, I try. He is the pass catching back there. So I don't know if Chris Carson is going to get all the work that he was seeing in the beginning of the season when Russ was cooking through the air.
That's a pain in the ass that you have to make that decision. But the injury concern, unfortunately, just cannot apply to first-round picks, second-round picks, like high draft capital, the dudes that you invested in literally from the jump.
Right, like
Eckler's got to be in there.
Example.
Eckler's got to be in there.
Thanks for your question. CEH or Tyson Williams PPR. It's really it's
Clyde.
It's
CEH,
Clyde, and it's not even close.
It's Clyde, not even a question.
B3 solo, full PPR. Swift Ayuk, Demont, or Ty Johnson. I love me some Ty Johnson, but
I love Ty, but he's not in that conversation here. Swift, Montgomery, who was
one flex and one RB. I will add that in there. So we need to pick 2.
Between Swift, Montgomery, and who was the other one?
Swift, Montgomery, Ty Johnson, and Ayuk. I would go Swift and Montgomery there.
Swift and Montgomery. Lower expectations for Montgomery, but he's the starting running back.
I got another question for you.
Gotta do it.
This one is another question that's going to be hard to answer. A questionable Saquon or Antonio Gibson, PPR. Who are we going with here? That's a tough one. Stephen X with the tough questions.
That's a pain in the ass too. I mean, Gibson. Gibson. They probably weren't drafted too far apart. Saquon only needs like 7 touches to explode, but Gibson's gonna get the volume.
And remember that Curtis Samuel is out, and in the video that I just did on the whole situation there, I did boost De'Ami Brown, I boosted Logan Thomas, and I boosted J.D. McKissick, but one guy that I did not expressly say that he was going to get more work was Antonio Gibson, and obviously there is going to be some trickle down there. So if you're having to deal with between a questionable Saquon and Antonio Gibson, who should see more work over the next 3 weeks than you would normally expect in a PPR, and a team that just lost a pass catcher that will be used closer to the line of scrimmage, you got to go Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, give me Gibson. The Washington defense is better than the Giants defense. I always like looking at how good a defense is when I'm attacking like running back decisions, because if the defense can keep the team in the game, or if Washington's winning, they're going to be running. They're going to be running in neutral game scripts. Gibson's going to get volume today. I know J.D. McKissick is still there, but Gibson is going to catch passes in his own right. I think his workload skyrockets this year. I think he's in for a huge year. It's not too brutal of a matchup against the Chargers, it's a cross-country road trip for them. So obviously that can be taken into account as well. Give me Gibson.
All right.
That's wild. They have to make.
We got to go into some rapid fire here because it is 11:11 right now.
Yeah, let's take a few more, and then we can maybe wrap this up.
One of my homies is having a birthday. I'm gonna go celebrate my homie's birthday, but let's get in some more of these questions here.
Let's do it.
Dulfikar Hussein, OBJ or Hardman?
Neither.
Keep hitting you with these questions you don't want to answer. Yeah.
Beckham, just for the simple fact that I'm not a believer in Mecole Hardman. Sorry, Mecole.
All right.
I mean,
Tyler Boyd
Beckham.
or A-Rob? That's a silly question.
Gotta go Robinson.
Gotta go
It's
A-Rob.
not. I mean, it's not always obvious. I don't want to patronize anybody, but Robinson.
The guy's name is I'm a Bot. So.
Okay. Well, Mr. Bot, Robinson.
All right, Nick Johnston, Yee Higgins, because he typed it wrong, or Robbie Anderson.
Yee. I'm calling him Yee Higgins from now on.
Yep. Thanks, man. Higgins, I appreciate you. Yee Higgins. I like that.
Higgins or Anderson. So last year I would have said Higgins. The Vikings are expected to be a much improved defense this year. They were awful last year, but they revamped the hell out of that defense. Their front seven is strong. They get players back healthy from injury. They added a couple of pieces, including Patrick Peterson, who has definitely lost a little set. He's not like all pro Patrick Peterson anymore, but still a savvy vet. Anderson has the much better matchup and the revenge game. I'll call my shot and go, if you need upside Anderson. If you want to take a safe play, if you feel like you can get away with a safe play, then Higgins. But if you want that upside play, I'll say Robbie.
Burrow or Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
Okay.
Matt Ryan. Burrow's, we got to see Burrow first. Matt Ryan throws the ball 40 times a game. I don't expect them to be able to run it. What? Yeah. Ridley, Kyle Pitts. The Eagles' defense is okay, not great. Matt Ryan.
All right, who should I start full PPR? DeAndre Swift, Ty Williams, or Brandon Cooks? A guy that you just boosted. Who are you picking there?
Well, Swift.
Swift. All right.
It's got to be Swift.
Stafford or Matt Ryan, full PPR? Landon Massey.
Well, PPR doesn't apply probably to the quarterbacks, but
okay.
Matt. I go Matt Ryan. I
gotta.
No, that's fine. No, I like when. No, I appreciate when people post their scoring settings. That makes it a little easier.
Yep.
It makes it a little easier. But I'm gonna say Ryan again. I'm gonna say Matt Ryan in a plus matchup. Stafford's got a tough matchup against the Bears. I expect Ryan to throw a ton because he always throws a ton. Two good weapons. Give me Matt Ryan.
There we go.
Three
I hope that helps Landon Massey. I hope you win your matchup. Chris Papa.
Yeah. We hope all y'all win your
Gaskin, Tyson, Chark. Pick one. Gaskin, Tyson, Chark. Full PPR.
Tyson.
All right,
I'll call my shot.
Tyson endorsement. Okay.
No, somebody said Tyson earlier, and I vouched for him. Yeah, no, but between those options, if you're between a guy like Myles Gaskin and Tyson, upside. Give me the upside, Tyson. What was the next one? Callaway or Claypool?
Yep.
Claypool.
Yep. Going up against the Bills, it's going to be the Bills are going to force him into some passing situations for sure.
Points are going to be scored. The Steelers have to throw today. They have to.
All right, pick one. PPR, Lockett, Mostert, or Saquon? I think the answer's got to be Saquon.
Damn it. Yeah, you gotta. I'm tempted to say Lockett.
If Lockett was a little bit more of a steady performer and he didn't have, the 4-point weeks and then the 40-point weeks and then the 4-point weeks and the 35-point weeks, because that's the kind of player you're looking at with Lockett.
Yeah, he can be kind of high variance.
I got to go Saquon here.
Yeah,
there's a chance Lockett can get you 40 points. He's done it before. He did it twice last season, I believe.
But Saquon is an RB1 if he's you're gonna have to eat the bullet and bite the bullet and just start Saquon and hope for the best.
Yep. Your boy Deontay Johnson or Michael.
That's
Pittman.
the end of the.
Oh, it's just
Deontay. I love Deontay Johnson.
Okay. All right. Full PPR week 1. Dan Arnold, Gerald Everett. He's playing Morin Anderson at wide receiver as well. I'd go Gerald Everett over Dan Arnold.
I would go Everett. I know it's a tough matchup against the Colts, but I'd
go Everett all season long over Dan Arnold.
Yeah, Everett's playing with a better quarterback.
Less weapon competition.
Yeah, and Seattle tight ends have been sneaky productive for fantasy over the past few years, and now Everett's the guy. I would stream Everett.
I would too. If you remember, a couple years ago, in consecutive seasons, Will Dissly was a top 5, top 3 option at tight end before he got injured.
For a few weeks, yeah.
in the beginning of the season. So this could be a situation where we really see them funnel targets to Everett in the red zone, and he could absolutely have one of those boom weeks that you're looking for and set you off.
I would go Everett.
Set you off for a good week. All right.
One or two more.
We got a lot. We got a lot of questions.
Damn.
And I lost my spot. There we go. Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield PPR. Let's just run through these. Just give me
sure.
answers. We want to get answers out to these guys.
Cousins or Mayfield? Cousins.
PPR, Robbie Anderson, Darrell Henderson, or Tyson Williams?
Robbie.
All right. Trey Sermon or Devonta Smith PPR?
Damn. Devonte Smith. I think he's just going to see a ton of volume today. Like ton of targets.
Brett Forsett, thank you, bro. We appreciate you too.
Yes, sir.
Jorge Colon, do you want Marquez Callaway or Devonta Smith for the flex? Who are you going with, Nick?
Smith. Give me Smith. He's just a better, more favorable matchup.
Bars in the Tuck, I really hope that you guys are a rap-oriented YouTube channel right there with a name like that. Good morning and happy football to you two. 2 QB leagues. Hurts is locked in. Does he go Burrows with a Higgins stack or Wentz with rushing upside? Burrow with a Higgins stack. He's got Hurts locked in, or does he go Wentz with the rushing upside?
Makes sense that Hurts is locked in. Oh man, I gotta. Is there another question that we can like kind of quickly fire off and like give me some time to think about that one? We'll come back to it.
Sure. Okay. Bars in the Tuck. We're gonna get back to you. Stay tuned. Hey Tones, are we going Trey Sermon or Javonte Williams? We got the two rookies. Who are you going with?
Man, I love Javonte Williams, but Sermon has the better matchup this week. I think he could get mixed in, especially if the 49ers have a lead. They'll give Sermon a look, like an extended look. I expect the 49ers to be winning today. Not that the Broncos Giants is a little bit more of a toss up. And I do think Melvin Gordon's gets a little bit more of workload week one. I would say Sermon, the 49ers rushing attack in a game where I fully expect the Niners to win.
All right.
As for the quarterback question,
okay,
it's a slight edge to Burrow. It's incredibly close. If you're in any way, shape, or form concerned about how Burrow might look, first game action back from the injury, then I understand if you want to go with Wentz. But I'm just not a believer in Carson Wentz. Burrow at least has the weapons. It's not a great matchup, but if maybe some quick short throws, a lot of bang bang, get it out quick, no hits taken, whatever.
And Higgs is definitely in line to pick up a lot of those looks.
I would lean Burrow.
All right, Melvin Gordon, Tyson Williams, or Juju in your flex. I go Tyson Williams.
Tyson, go for the upside. Go for the upside.
Javonte Williams, Chark, or Terrence Marshall. That's an interesting split you got there. I don't know if
that is interesting.
I'm not touching Terrence Marshall in week one.
Not yet.
I like him long term because Sam Darnold loves to throw to his slot receivers, and it looks like Terrence Marshall is going to be that guy. But I need to see it before I invest over a guy like Chark. So it's really Chark or Javonte Williams. Who are you going with?
I will say, sorry, do we know the scoring?
No.
I would lean Javonte. I would give a slight edge to Javonte. I do think he's going to be involved today. I think he's going to be involved. It might be limited. Melvin Gordon's going to take touches away as well. But Javonte's upside is very interesting. Chark's is as well in a plus matchup, but I would lean the running back without knowing the scoring.
All right, pick two for flex, full PPR. Damien Harris, DJ Chark, or Michael Pittman. He also lists Jamar Chase and Sterling Shepard, but I don't think they factor in.
No.
Damien Harris, DJ Chark, or Michael Pittman. Pick two.
Full in PPR?
Yep.
I like Pittman today between those two, or between those three. I do like Pittman. I think there's some upside there. Harris in PPR is less valuable. Chark's got a great matchup. Harris doesn't. If you want to play the running, if you prefer the running back, I would go Harris. But if you want to play the better matchup, go Chark. I would say Pittman is the guy that you. It's like put Pittman in, and then if you, it's either the running back in the bad matchup, but it's a running back who's going to get volume, or the wide receiver 3 in a great matchup.
All right, I am going
go
to
with your gut.
Run through these a little bit because I hate to leave you guys, but I do have to run.
David
Montgomery or Laviska Shenault. I am going David Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Do I stick with David Montgomery in a bad matchup, or should I think about Edmonds or Tyson Williams? I still think you go with Montgomery.
You gotta go with Montgomery. Yeah, gotta go Montgomery.
Half-point PPR, Mostert or Woods. I believe you're talking about Robert Woods, and if that's the case, then Robert Woods. OBJ, Shenault, or Tyson, PPR flex. Who you going with?
Shenault.
All right. Debo, Brandon Cooks, Tyson Williams, flex, full price, full PPR.
Debo, Brandon Cooks, or Tyson. I am. I mean, Debo's in the better offense. Like his opportunities might be limited, but damn, that's tough. I'll say Debo. I'll say Debo if you have to pick between those. Cooks has upside. Cooks definitely has more upside. Debo feels like a safer play.
All right, Larry Parr, Swift or Melvin Gordon? You got to go Swift. Ruben Molinar, do you go Cousins or Herbert? You got to go Cousins. Gus Robertson,
I would say Cousins.
You got to go Herbert. I'm sorry, I mixed up. You got to go Herbert there over Cousins.
Oh, Herbert. Yeah, go Herbert. Go Herbert.
And Pittman, Chase, Gus Robertson, Pittman, Chase. I would go Pittman. Full
Pittman.
PPR. Be Such needs some help. This is a longer question. Terry McLaurin or Brandon Cooks at wide receiver?
Terry.
And CEH, James Robinson, Mike Davis, or Terry Cooks. So I'm guessing he needs. It's all three of those.
Terry.
Flex.
Terry's in your lineup. Just
right.
Terry's in your lineup. James Robinson, I think was
James Robinson, CEH, or Mike Davis. I would put.
CEH is
CEH.
Clyde.
Yep.
Clyde. I would hear Clyde.
You gotta speed it up. I'm just gonna blow past.
Who the hell is the wide receiver? I just forgot.
I'm speeding up.
Okay.
I'm going past it.
All right, fine.
Thank you for listening. I'm sorry we're pressed for time, Be Such, but we're going Terry McLaurin and CEH there.
Terry and Clyde, and then Robinson.
2 TE League PPR pick 2. Higbee, Tanyan, or Everett?
Crap. Higbee and Everett.
All right. Does he start Saquon with reduced touches? He has Melvin Gordon, Sutton, Cooks, Tanyan, and Mike Davis for flex replacement. I believe you start Saquon.
Saquon, you're just going to have to, just hope for the best.
Lower
Lower expectations, but hope for the best.
Allen Robinson or Odell. He's scared that Robinson is going to get no targets because he's going to be covered by Jalen Ramsey. And that is, I don't think he's not going to get no targets. It's Allen Robinson we're talking about here. He's been the wide receiver 12 for 2 years running.
Yeah, fair concern, but Robinson's a wide receiver 1. You probably drafted him in the 3rd round. Robinson.
Kiss of Poseidon, I thought you were doing the bells on purpose. Nah, man, I wish I had that power. If I could just command a church across
John
the way
controls the church with his mind.
Hey.
Let's do one or two more, and then John's. I know you got to run. You got a birthday thing to get to. I'm headed out for the games.
We'll sign off in 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes.
We're gonna sign off at 11:30. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening.
Thank you. Yes, we really appreciate it. Everybody that's still here, the 35 of you that are still here. We're gonna try to get to your questions.
Yeah. Let's do rapid fire over the next few minutes.
As a first one of these, we think this went pretty well. We're definitely gonna be back doing more.
I hope so. Yeah.
And thank you guys for coming in and tuning in and throwing us your questions. All right.
Yeah. Hopefully this helps.
So we got Miller McRae, Ayuk, Ayuk or Robert Woods week 1. I'd go Robert Woods.
Woods, yeah.
Full PPR. Which two of Chris Carson, David Montgomery, or Najee Harris? I'd go Montgomery and Harris.
Najee and Najee for sure. slight edge to Montgomery, but that's real close.
Yep.
Slight edge to Montgomery because
that's
Carson
fair.
also has a tough matchup. The Colts are good on defense as well. They both have not great matchups. Montgomery has a slightly higher ADP than Chris Carson. I would go Montgomery.
Who do I start in PPR? Swift, D. Harris, or Tyson Williams? I think you got to go Swift. PPR. Second
Swift.
flex, Debo, Sutton, or Boyd. I would go Sutton. I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. So you go.
I would go. I think I would.
Number one.
I would lean Debo. I think
Debo?
I would lean Debo because Debo's
It's not
the
Boyd for me. It's between Debo and Sutton.
No, I think I would go Debo. Debo's the healthy one between the two 49ers receivers, at least right now. And again, I did a short or I did a quick profile on Debo. He's just a yak monster. He needs 5 targets to come through for you. Like, it does not take much.
All right,
I would
PPR,
go Debo.
OBJ or Devonta Smith?
Smith. I would go Devontae Smith.
Right.
Yeah. Smith.
Should he start Saquon over Tyson? Yes. Yes. Start Saquon over Tyson.
Start Saquon. Yeah.
Damn it. I lost my place again. Here we go. Tyler Conklin or Jonnu Smith?
Jonnu. Tough matchup, but Jonnu.
Would you? I think I might go Tyler.
You would go Conklin?
I would go Conklin. They got nobody else there, bro.
Yeah.
I know
they have
just
Justin
brought in
Jefferson and Adam Thielen.
They need teams in the
They
NFL
brought in Chris Herndon.
Teams in the NFL need 3 options in the past game, and Chris Herndon was just brought in. I don't know.
I would go Jonnu.
He's going
I would
Smith.
go Jonnu.
I'm going Conklin. I probably
We're
am
at
going
odds
with the
there.
not popular pick there.
You're going contrarian. I'm going
contrarian. The safe bet would be to go Jonnu. But
the safe bet is
I
Jonnu.
think that Hunter Henry is going to get a fair amount of work in that offense. 2, drop Tevin Coleman for the Browns defense for next week. I think you wait and see how this Jets offense.
Yeah, give it a look.
Tevin Coleman,
if you don't need
that he is going to be the number 1 for the team.
Yeah, if you don't need the roster spot, don't pick up a second defense just to see what happens.
It's going to be Ty Johnson in that offense, but all the news has been Tevin Coleman. So let it ride for week 1 and see where it's at. Sorry, you guys, we're skipping some here. We just got to make it to the end of the list. Herbert or Cousins? I'm going Herbert. I believe we already answered that one.
Yeah, we already answered
that one. Or Taysom? I believe that's Tyson.
If
Tyson.
If it's between Callaway or Tyson, I'm going to swing for the fences upside Tyson.
Deontay Johnson or Robbie Anderson? That's a dumb question. Nick's going to answer Deontay Johnson.
It's
Never
not a dumb
about
question.
Deontay Johnson, Nick. He's going to answer Deontay Johnson.
It's not a dumb question.
You can ask him if it's who's the best receiver of all time, Randy Moss or Deontay Johnson, and he'd have to think about it for a second.
You pump the brakes over there. Jesus, Deontay.
All right.
Deontay.
Tyler Higbee or Noah Fant?
Fant. The Giants are not as good as the Bears on defense.
Allen Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Tyson Williams, flex spot, half PPR.
Allen Robinson. I know there's concerns about Allen Robinson tonight, but you drafted him high. You hope for the best.
He's been
play him.
He's been the number 12 wide receiver in back-to-back years with terrible quarterback play.
You got to play him.
Start Russell Gage over D. Johnson?
Is that Deontay?
I assume that's Deontay.
Then the answer is no. Do not start Russell Gage over Deontay.
All right. Mostert, Gaskins, or Ty? I believe that would be Ty Johnson.
Mostert. Great matchup.
Start 2, PPR. Mostert, Gaskin. That's who I would
Mostert, Gaskin, Ty Johnson.
I'd go Mostert, Gaskin until further notice with Ty.
I guess Gaskin, but I wouldn't be surprised if the plug got pulled on Gaskin. But for now, week 1, if it's between Gaskin and Ty Johnson, then sure, go Gaskin.
All right, and I just want to check to see if we missed any, but thanks again, you guys, for tuning in. This was awesome. This is more fun than I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, this was awesome.
PPR, David Montgomery versus Ramsey or Myles Gaskins versus the Pats.
Montgomery.
You gotta go Montgomery. I'm just going to go up this list to see if we forgot any before we sign off. Callaway or Devonta Smith?
We got that one. Or
did we?
Devontae.
It was another question. Another
Devontae Smith.
All
Devontae
right.
Smith.
Tyson or Pittman flex. Sam Darnold or Raheem Mostert in super flex. You got to go with the quarterback. Sam Darnold.
Go with the QB. Go with the quarterback.
Did you have an answer for Tyson Williams or Michael Pittman flex?
Oh. Man, I would give a slight edge to Pittman if it's PPR. Slight edge to Pittman if it's PPR. If it's half PPR, Tyson becomes way more interesting.
Well, there we go. I think that is all the questions. Thanks, everybody.
Cool.
There's 21 of you in here. Still, thank you guys for tuning in to the end of this. This was more successful than I thought it was going to be. We had more than 60 people in here at one point. And the last time that we went live, we had like our mom and my girlfriend.
Our moms and friends. So
that's who joined in. So this is exciting. This is fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for giving us your questions. Thank you guys for liking the video. If you like the video, subscribing. Thank you guys for being part of this, and we hope you guys win your matchups today. Yeah,
hope you win your matchups. Enjoy the football, everybody. We'll keep doing this every week.
And we have one more question.
All right, then we're shutting down.
2 more questions: Devontae Smith or DeAndre Swift?
Swift.
And David Johnson, Michael Carter, or Latavius Murray full PPR? Yuck.
Oh.
I'm sorry you got to choose between those guys, Nick Hobie, but wow.
David Johnson, Latavius Murray, and who?
Michael Carter. Would I go David Johnson? I think I'd have to go David Johnson.
Oh, man. I'm almost inclined to say Latavius Murray and just hope he falls into the end zone. I don't think David Johnson has much of a role today.
Okay.
I really don't. I would lean Latavius Murray, but there's no way you can expect a ton from any 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Carter is out. Yeah, we got to see Carter in the offense first, because in the preseason, when the first team offense was on the field for the Jets, Carter was the kick returner.
All right,
Carter's not
we're going to get to your question. Start Miles Sanders or Chase Edmonds. Then we are signing off. But thank you for that last question there.
Oh God, I'm not huge on Miles Sanders this year, but for week 1, you probably drafted Sanders over Chase Edmonds. I'll give the edge to Miles Sanders for week 1.
There you go. Thank you for your questions, Osiris Castaner. Thank you for your questions, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, good luck with your matchups today. And
good luck and enjoy the football.
And tune in this following week for some fantasy fallout from week 1. And we will be back here with you live at 10 o'clock next Sunday, for the next slate of games to do this again. But thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.